All right, man, we got a lot to get to today. I'm going to talk about duty, emotions. I'm going to discuss this doctor in Britain and also a policy that New York has now implemented, a hefty fine, hefty penalty for saying a certain word. Hey, this is Red Tape Podcast. Y'all stay tuned. You know, in the world that we live in today, guys, it is tough to open up your mouth and have a stance to say something without offending someone. And I get it. If you're disrespecting someone, if you are hurting an individual, if you don't look at them as equals, no matter if they're from here or not, I understand that there are penalties in place. Because we should never, ever, 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 ever look down on another individual because they are not from America, because they may be different, because they look different, because whatever the situation may be, that is a plague, that is vile. And if you act that way towards an individual, you're ignorant and a bigot. Okay, so we got to understand that first we have to establish, as always, that we are all equal. We are all equal as people. We all have rights, and our rights as people is that you should respect me, right? And then I should have opportunities when they come. And that's what America has brought to everybody who lives here currently in America. It has given you an opportunity. It has given you a leg up. Now, whether you choose to use that leg up, if you choose to take advantage of the opportunity, regardless of how disenfranchised you have been, regardless of the situation, it's a choice in America. You have free will given by God, and you have respect given by God because you are equal as a human being. Now, what you choose to do with your equality, what you choose to do with your choice is up to you. Now, that's an individual right. And now, as long as you're not breaking the law, you're abiding by the law, then, hey, all that matters is, to me, is that as a human being, you respect the law, you respect the people around you, you're a pillar in the community, you do what you're supposed to do, you're not trying to destroy the community or wreck the community, then we all good. That's whether that's an immigrant, American citizen, because at the end of the day, we're all people in this world. We all have to live together in this world. Now, living in America is far different than Canada, Mexico, Europe, Asia. It's different, and that's what makes us unique. That's what makes America unique. The Constitution, Declaration of Independence, sets us apart from most people, from, every country, actually. I know some people have adopted what we've done, but the Constitution and America is a beautiful place. I have friends who have come here who were immigrants and they're on visas, they were on whatever. The military, you have people that had the great honor of serving the military and then getting a green card wherever they needed to be a citizen. And they served with me even better than me, respecting America even better than American citizens. You get that a lot of times. People who come over here, they understand what real trouble looks like from where they come from. They understand what real persecution looks like. America hasn't really seen it, and we know when we seen it. It's like the big kid on the block. You never know. You know, everybody knows the giant is sleeping. We know we're giants in the world, and it doesn't. You know, we're giants, and while giants don't have anybody else to fight, they fight amongst each other. But everybody knows that when you punch them in the mouth or you hit them at home, and you don't want to wake that sleeping giant up, and that's what we've seen on 9/11, and we've been wrecking areas of the Middle East and terrorists ever since, because it's unfamiliar to us to have foreign soldiers on our soil unless you're doing exercises with the military. You don't get that here, right? Other countries, we're there, we're doing work in their countries to help and defend them, but not in the country of the giants. But in the country of the giants, we seem to bicker about everything, and we seem to try to put laws in place to hinder each other. We try to not respect the First Amendment. We don't want to see the Second Amendment just live out what it's supposed to be, in my eyes, and that is defend ourselves against tyranny. That's the whole point. Now, I know that a lot of y'all don't agree with arms, bearing arms, and that's okay. You don't have to own a gun because remember, it's a choice. But if you do own a gun, you have to be responsible with the weapon that you have. Now, I know in America and I know in other parts of the world, now we're seeing things, we got duty versus emotions. We have a big, right now in America, there's this big emotional push that everything is offensive, everything that you say, because you have a different point of view. If I'm offended, then you're a bigot or you're something other than a human being that have a right to an opinion. Now, we can have a respectful conversation and disagree, and that can be it. But that's not where we're at in America. That's not where we're at in some parts of the world. You disagree with facts because facts seem to take over. Emotions seem to take over facts. And that's not how it works. So I was reading this article about a Christian doctor, British Christian doctor, who was working, and after his 30 years of service, he was fired. Now, he was fired because not only is he a Christian and he believes in just male and female, he's a doctor who understands science. Now, that's what I'm saying right now. In this world that we live in, we have a rejection of science so we can feel emotionally better. Now, emotions, a lot of times you have to keep in check, because if you don't understand emotions, they will wreck you. So you got to understand how to check those things. Like I always talk about the mind. You have to protect the mind from yourself a lot of times. And a lot of times you got to protect yourself from emotions, because when we get emotional, a lot of times we make some of the worst decisions in our life. Some of the worst decisions in our life when you're emotional. And then you end up regretting it. There are more regrettable emotional decisions that I know I've made than if I just thought about my duty, if I thought about my integrity, and thought about everything ahead of that first. Now, emotions can be good because it brings us closer to each other. It can make us more endearing to one another and loving. But the most times when you use emotion over fact and over duty, a lot of times you end up wrecking yourself or wrecking someone else or ruining someone else because you don't like what they said. We don't have to like I don't like what my family have to say a lot of times. Believe it. I'm like, hey, God, listen to this podcast. Tell me what you think. Oh, it's terrible. Now, if I let my emotions get in the way, I would put this up and be done with it right now. But I'm like, wait a minute. It's like the girl. Hey, have you cheated on me? Do you want to know the truth? What do you think about this dress? Do you really want to know the truth? Well, I don't like it. You look kind of fat. Well, hey, baby, how I look in this suit? Nah. How I look in this hat? Your head's too big. Now, I asked for an opinion. I asked for this. I asked for you to assess what I'm wearing, and now me to be offended by it or me to get the truth hurt. Now, facts are facts. Facts hurt. Truth hurts. Hello. But we have to deal with it. We have to understand how to navigate it, So I don't understand how we've now switched over to emotional ploys behind everything we do. It's the emotion, because it don't make me feel good. It isn't right. Well, there's a lot of things that can make you feel good that definitely are detrimental to your health. Right? Eating a cheeseburger every single day is definitely torture. And it's a slow death. There are things in life that taste good, feel good, look good to you, but ain't good for you. Ain't good. You gotta make sure I say ain't, all right? I'm down here in the South, baby. So you gotta understand that. So we have to understand that emotions will wreck us. So we gotta understand how to check that first in your mind, and then understand where your duty stands. There's a lot of choices in the military and things that you have to do in life and your jobs that you necessarily may not totally agree with, because emotionally or maybe however you feel. If you feel that way it's too strong for you to do it based on your beliefs and anything, then you just leave. You remove yourself from the situation. But sometimes in life, when you sign a contract like I have done in my lifetime, you do things because out of duty. If I do it because out of emotion, if President Bush, like I always speak on that, reacted out of emotions of 9/11, we would have just nuked all of the Middle East and everybody that's associated with the 9/11, right? That's what we would have done. That's what America would have been happy with. But then the repercussions of that is we have to live in this world tomorrow and the next day. And we do have allies, and there are innocent people in those areas too. So you have to be smart. You have to be wise. You have to use your wisdom and understand when you're dealing with emotions and you're dealing with facts. That's why everybody say, okay, man, I understand how you feel. I'm sorry you feel that way, but what's the problem? Let's get to the fact. Let's understand. Calm down first, and then we can talk. And that's what I see in this situation with this British doctor. This young man, and people are seeming to deny science. Now, I understand that this guy, that the problem was that he refused to deal with the individual. Well, he refused to say transgender, or in the situation, he wouldn't say the guy was a guy that he was dealing with. He wouldn't call her Mrs. or her, or whatever the case is, right? Now, people offended, and they said that regardless of what you believe in the Bible, according to Genesis 1:27, that's what if you want to know what it says, it's talking about male and female, right? Creating God's image and male and female. Anyway, so you have to check that out for yourself. I don't have time to talk about that because I'm trying to get to a point here. Now, I know the guy's a Christian doctor. He has his beliefs, but he wasn't operating on emotional anything. He was he was standing up for his belief, and I always applaud people standing up for their beliefs first, all right? Especially Christians, yes. But anyway, so I just want to make sure that y'all understand that this individual was fired after 30 years of service because he know in science that you're male and female. Now, if I go to the doctor and I decide to have a sex change, now, if you go in there trying to deal with me as a woman and knowing that I'm a man, even though I have changed into a woman, then that doesn't help me. How can that heal me? So why would you want to fire a doctor who understands that there are differences in the male and female, right? There are differences. Scientifically, there are differences. You can think and have emotional feelings towards whatever you want to be, but the reality is you are what you are. You can change it, flip it, whatever the case is, but it still is what it is, right? Like I can take this table, well, I can look at the table that I have in front of me, I can cut the tree down, I can turn it into whatever, but it doesn't change the fact that it's still wood. Now I change it into something else that may be beautiful to my eye, but it's still wood. That's the same thing with a human being, science. Why do we have people that deny science? Well, we have people denying science because emotionally it doesn't fit with how they feel. Emotionally, it doesn't fit with how they feel. I have to say that again. So we have to understand that we got to start operating with facts like we used to. We got to understand that duty is greater than emotions a lot of times. It's my duty to be honest with you. It's my duty to be respectful to you. It's my duty to do the things that will advance this nation, my community, my family, and myself. My duty. If I act emotional about everything when I fail, that's why people now, because of emotions, when they fail, they don't live. They commit career suicide. They commit physical suicide. They do whatever it is because they're emotionally drained in that moment and they don't think it's a way out. That's why I teach, especially my oldest, I teach her duty. There are going to be times when you're going to be sad, but we got to understand we still got to get the job done. And we're going to deal with the sadness because there are depression and everything, mental health and all these different situations have to be dealt with. But we got to understand that duty is still important. Now, I don't want to say that we're robots. This is not Terminator, okay? This is not our robot because we're still human beings. We have emotions. We should be allowed to express our emotions because it is an important part of society. Just like nurturing children. They need to be nurtured. You can't just feed them and that's it. All right. Kids, just being a parent and it's your duty to do it. That's one part, but you still have to have emotional ties to your kids so they can understand that you don't want to raise no hard kid because hard kids, that's tough. It's real tough. So there's still a part of emotion that you have to use, but I'm specifically speaking to laws and things like that. We change things based on how we feel versus what is right and what is wrong, what is fact, what is true. That's where we at in the world, especially in America. So thank God I don't live over there in Britain as being a Christian, and I get fired from my job because I refuse to, in my work, specifically address somebody as Mr. or Mrs. and they're not. Especially knowing that I'm looking at this person and I know that this is a man, but it's dressed as a woman sitting on my table. But I need to treat them as a man because if I do things for them as a woman, then they could die or whatever the situation was. So I'm glad that God stood up for science. I'm glad that God stood up for Christianity because those things do matter and there are truths in it. And Christianity is true. And I'm also glad he stood up because in medicine, you have to take people for what they are biologically, not what you hope to be. All right. That's the one thing. Then in New York, guys. But before we get to that first, make sure y'all check us out, right? At www.fortheonemedia.com. It's great content, great people over there doing great work. All right. Great work. And also make sure y'all if you get a chance, you know what I'm saying, you're not doing anything, you just check out the Red Tape Podcast and subscribe, guys. We on YouTube at 401 Media on YouTube, guys. We on YouTube, booming. Metro booming out there, all right? You know, I probably got to cut that out. I don't want to get sued for the Metro booming part. But we booming, guys, all right? We booming. All right, so we're going to switch topics real quick, and it's still along the same lines, but we're thinking about New York City, man. New York City now has a law in place. They have a law in place, guys, for if you say alien, anything like that, when it comes to immigration or giving a call to immigration authorities, you use the word illegal immigration, and it's motivated by hate, which I don't know how you're going to decipher that. If it's motivated by hate, then you will get a fine up to $250,000. If you use the word alien, which is written in a lot of our laws, you're going to get fined. Look, like I just said, I love all people. I don't have a problem with anyone. But we do have laws in place. And like I said, if you're disrespecting someone, that's one thing. But implementing laws like this is a violation of the First Amendment rights. I mean, I don't understand how you can write a law against the law. I don't understand it. Now, if you hating or hateful, then, hey, I don't even want to say it on here, but if you hateful like that, then we're going to deal with you. But if you're just speaking on, hey, illegal immigration or there are illegal aliens here, that's one thing. Now, if you're putting someone down, that's another. And I think majority of people are not trying to put someone down. I hope America will embrace immigration because, hey, they get the work done. Believe it or not, while you sorry Americans sitting up there drinking your tea and lazy, don't want to have jobs and all those things, they come over here and they get the work done. Whole communities built, the houses that you living in. So I don't have a problem with it. But I do have a problem with they have rights too. I do have a problem with if it's just overcrowding and people steady coming in, because there are laws that we have in America because we do have to protect ourselves as American, because there are people amongst the sheep that there are wolves amongst the sheep that want to infiltrate our country and do harm to us. And we have to be able to decipher that. And like I said, we can't just have emotional ploys because people are coming here in their situations. We have to check ourselves too. Now, if people come in as a Christian, we let them come. But as a Christian also, we got to protect ourselves. It's like somebody walking up to my door, all right, kids, just come on in. I don't even know them. Just leave the door open at night. He's going to let people in. Now, there going to be some good people coming here. It's going to be good people that, hey, your door is unlocked. First of all, I'm like, how you coming to my door? How you know it was unlocked? Well, it's open, sir. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. So we do have to protect ourselves. We do have to take care of what we have, but we also have to respect other people. And then there are situations where people are running from something. There are people running from something. And there are great people everywhere. So we got to make sure that we're doing what we need to do to help them in those situations, especially if they're coming from somewhere where they don't have help, they're being harmed. Then we need to go over there and kick whatever country that they're coming from in the butt, too. That's the other thing. Put pressure on these people, not because we don't want people coming to America, but put pressure on them because human rights, human dignity, they earned that when they were born. They earned that in the womb to have dignity and respect as a human being. And when they come out the womb, we're going to make sure that we take care of that. And as America, if you want to help in that situation, you help those countries that need help. Not just go in there and go to war, but if somebody is being mistreated and abused, it's not just, that's just their country. Yeah, we got to establish our country and be the example for other countries. And then we see tyranny exist, we go crush it immediately. Now, I don't want to get off subject here, but I just want to say in New York, think about what you're doing, think about what you're saying, because not all people that use this language is racist. Not all people that use this type of language is hateful. Because if they are, then we have to deal with them. I don't like them either. If you're racist or hateful or bigot, I'm black, man. You know how we feel about it. But it's just an interesting topic. So we got to make sure we don't, out of emotions, affect our rights, affect our, just don't go against what we have in this beautiful country. Now, if this beautiful country is trying to wreck itself or harm other people in the country, then we have to deal with them accordingly. And we will deal with you. Believe it. Believe that, Jack. So anyway, man, just make sure that y'all respecting each other out there. I just thought about the New York topic. It was interesting to see that they're going to fine American citizens for saying illegal aliens or aliens. That's interesting to me. But you just check the article out for yourself. Tell me what you think. Just my opinion. That's why I'm here, guys. Hey, make sure you check out www.forthe1media.com, where we're moving progressively forward in a conservative way. Check us out at YouTube, on Instagram. Hey, guys, it's been a good day. I love talking to y'all as always. This is Demerious Nelson. Peace.